Hey everybody, the workout for Tuesday is 18 minutes of work. So there's 3 separate little AMRAPs. One is 7 minutes, that's the first one. The second is 6 minutes, the third is 5 minutes. There's no break between the 3 AMRAPs, so it just goes one right into the other. So a continuous 18-minute running clock. The first combo is 7 pause push-ups combined with 7 bent over rows per arm. Of course, we'll demonstrate each of those and go over some potential scaling options for them. So 7 minutes back and forth, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Once those 7 minutes are up, transition right into 6 minutes of 6 slow motion mountain climbers per leg. Of course, we'll demonstrate that too. 12 arrested Supermans. So we'll go back and forth between those two for 6 minutes. When those 6 minutes are up, 5 minutes of 5 up downs and 5 switch lunges per leg, or jumping lunges, whatever you want to call them. I'll show you what those are. The potential modifications for push-ups: if you can't go from your feet, you can go from your knees, of course. The bent over row, depending upon what piece of equipment you have, you can, of course, utilize that. The intention is for it to be one arm. If you only have access to a barbell, to a backpack, and you're going to be doing 2 arms, you could keep it at 7, assuming that the weight is sufficiently heavy. If it is not, and it's relatively light for 7, and you just kind of bang right through them super quick, then maybe just bump those up to like 12 to 14 reps, something like that. The lunge, if jumping into that single leg position is a bit tricky, whether you don't have the strength to support that in the leg, if it kind of aggravates the knees or the hips at all to do that ballistic movement, you can just do a regular forward lunge, and I'll show what that looks like. We'll stretch, we'll warm up the movements. You guys know the deal there. Let's go over each movement one by one. So the pause push-up is a push-up. It's just designed to be done with a pause for 1 second at the top of the movement. That's just to ensure that you go all the way up and lock out the arms. You're not short-changing the range of motion, so they'll be a little bit more challenging, also a little bit slower than regular push-ups. But aside from that, the standard of the movement is still the same. Nice straight body position. Bring your feet together, legs straight, so treat it like a nice full body exercise. Everything lowers together, everything raises up together. Lock out for 1 1,000, lower back down, 2 1,000, lower back down. Okay, that pause is at the top. Again, if you can't do them from your feet, you could of course scale the reps if you need to, but you could also perform them from the knees. Same standard, everything lowers down together, push up 1 1,000 at the top. That'll be combined with the bent over row. So you'll have a dumbbell, kettlebell, plate, barbell, backpack. The intention is to set yourself up so your back is parallel, your torso is parallel to the ground, your back is flat. There's a number of ways to do it. Kind of support yourself with your opposite arm on the opposite leg here, and then just pull the dumbbell towards the hip, lower back down under control. Okay, you can go all the way to the floor if you prefer, especially if you have a kettlebell. It'll be likely that you'll have to start every rep on the ground. You'll do 7 on one arm, 7 on the other, and you can see it's a nice controlled movement. There's no kind of using the hips or momentum to try to throw the dumbbell up to the torso, so nice and strict. So part 1 is really designed to be like a little upper body strength portion. Once you're done with those 7 minutes, second pair is the slow motion mountain climber per leg. So really think of this more of a plank or like a core exercise versus a conditioning exercise. So you'll get started in the top of the push-up. You're going to bring your knee to your elbow, lower back to the start, and then repeat with the opposite side. And the goal is to maintain a nice rigid trunk as you do that, so you're not hunching in the trunk. Pull that knee in to touch the elbow or tricep, and then back to the start. And that'll be 6 repetitions per leg, so 12 total. That's combined with an arrested Superman. So the arrested Superman, you're lying flat on your stomach. You're going to take your hands and place them behind your head, hence the name arrested. And then from there, the goal is to raise your chest up off the ground, raise your legs up off the ground, and then lower everything back down. So chest comes up, flare the elbows out to the side. Try to get the thighs off the floor as you keep your legs straight. And it'll be 12 of those. And again, nice and deliberate. You're not going to race through those. Think of part 2 also as more of a strength training component versus conditioning as well. When those 6 minutes are up, the last AMRAP is 5 minutes of 5 up downs and 5 switch lunges or jumping lunges per leg. The up down, it's again just a burpee with no push up. Fold at the hip, snap the feet back to the top of the push up, snap the feet back in, stand. There's no jump at the top. There's no push up at the bottom. Just down and up 5 times. And then the switch lunge, you're going to start in the bottom of a lunge, so your back knee is on the floor. Stay nice and upright. As you stand up out of the lunge, you're going to jump and switch positions of the feet. So I'll do a few reps. So it's a nice quick transition of the feet. I extend the legs, pop off the ground, and then I control that descent down so that I don't crash my knee to the floor. And again, if that's a bit tricky for you, to perform that, to control that range of motion and that ballistic type of movement, just do a forward lunge. So take a step forward, lower down to the back knee kisses, and then push nice and hard off that front foot back to standing. And that would be 5 each leg for 10 total. And then that's it. So 18 minutes of work, 3 separate little AMRAPs. Of 2 movements in each one. 7 of 7 and 7, 6 of 6 and 12, and then 5 of 5 and 5. Reach out with any questions, guys. We'll have classes tomorrow, 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. CrossFit with Coach Jen. 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. boot camp, and then 6 o'clock CrossFit with yours truly. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.